in jobs. Walmart can come here, and if they can get away with doing less to come in your city, they will do less. So I took over the negotiations with Walmart, and we got them to do more. We got them to install the substation on Memorial Drive that we didn't have to pay for. We got them to use our utility company instead of Point Electric or Entergy, as those people made a play. Now I did say this, and I'll stand by this, that before Entergy, got the power, I would rather Point Electric to get it, but at the same time, Point Electric, took the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center years ago from the city of New Roads. And at the time, we were in a system where we had a city manager and council, and it was tough to get the backbone to fight for that. I fought for the city. And what happens is, when you are able to get commercial utilities, on your books, because we were way too dependent upon residential rates. And so now, by having Walmart, Tractor Supply, the McDonald's, the Pangburn building, all that, Walmart's utility rate tripled from what they had before. That's all putting money into the city. But when you look at those studies, it's anywhere from 5% to 20% increase in sales tax revenue. Our sales tax revenue is up 24%. Our property tax revenue is up 10%. The reason that 29 other businesses have located here besides Walmart is because of the business climate that we provide for them. This young man over here, Matoire's Meat Company. I got a limit on this one too? Everything's 3 minutes? Okay, all right. Matoire's Meat Company. A young man from Zachary. Well, actually, he's not from Zachary. He lives in Zachary now. He's from Natchitoches. Says he grew up eating meat pies. I asked him, why are you wanting to locate in New Roads? You live in Zachary. He said, because everybody in Zachary says this is the happening place to be. So that.
Let's move on. Two more questions.
Two more questions.
How does the city ensure that all its employees are compensated in a fair and equitable manner?
What we do, before I was mayor, what we had was a simple system that it was everybody got it or nobody got it. Basically, it was across the board raises and at 2% or 2.5%. We implemented a merit system where people who worked hard can earn more money. That's the American way. That's the way you do it in business. That's the way you're supposed to do it. And we've had employees who've had an opportunity to shine and make an additional 3% based on their annual evaluation. And they've done that. We also try to promote from within when we can. We bring in outside people when we have to. Because you don't win, well, you just ask the Saints. You don't win championships with bad quarterbacks. You got to go get your Drew Brees. Okay, you got to go do that sometimes. He wasn't homegrown. Okay, but for example, we have a young man working on our line crew that started off as a grass cutter. Next week, he's going to LIPA to get certified to be a lineman. I'm glad you mentioned LIPA. I was a part of LIPA, the LIPA board, part of the operating committee, until the operating committee decided they wanted to build a big new power plant in Morgan City. Now, I didn't want to participate and commit the city to $5 million to build a power plant that's going to get knocked down by the next hurricane that comes through there. Okay? Instead, we're negotiating locally with NRG, we're negotiating with CLECO, and we're looking at, what's our direction in the future. And this is why you truly have to have a businessman, running your city. I'm not going to tell you I make every decision is the right decision. That's why I lean on my council a lot. Okay? That's why I lean on the sheriff a lot. That's why I lean on the police chief a lot. That's why I lean on a lot of other entities a lot. I lean on some of the people within the police jury a lot. But I will not lean on the people on the police jury who will double your taxes, on your property taxes. You know, yes, we had an increase, but that wasn't double. And we will not take listening to, you know, saying we didn't raise fees when the garbage rates went up every year for and caused to where we had to decide, hey, at some point we've got to do what's right for the citizens. So yes, I think I get along pretty good with the assessor, clerk of court. You know, you name it. You name it. Okay.
Final question.
Final question.
Please explain the city's funding mechanism for projects like the new football field and splash park.
We were able to build what we built in this city. Splash park, skate park, 2 new playgrounds, upgrade Douglas Park, new basketball courts. Go to Douglas Park in the evening and see all the kids playing. Baseball field, roads that we were able to upgrade that were existing, change roads, add roads. The new football stadium, the mill that we put into action, and where we have the market at the mill, which brings thousands of people here, and our citywide garage sale. We've been able to do sewer and drainage and you know, work that we've done, you know, with the same thing that I started in my first month as the mayor. My first 2 real actions as the mayor, that was to say, our town is dead. Our town needs to come back together. I asked the council to appropriate money for the Harvest Festival. They appropriated us $25,000 to put on the Harvest Festival. That was just only insurance case. We didn't make money. We've made money. I then also said, I have to reject this budget because it's $1.4 million in the red. You can't operate that way and you can't start off that way. So we went and we had bonds that we were, quite frankly, overpaying for in this day and age. When the interest rates, prime rates were in the 3% and 4% range, we were paying well over 5%. The previous administration had committed us to a $1.7 million automated electric meter reading system that did not work. Okay? And so I had a balloon payment to pay on that. I have a degree in marketing, which I enjoy marketing our fine city, and I have a minor in economics and finance, and I enjoy using that. I use that knowledge and along with expertise to reduce our bond payments by over $100,000 per month that we pay. We were able to restructure bad debt, get rid of that balloon note that we had, and put our city on the path with $2.5 million to invest in what you see now. And what you see that we've invested in, your children, you can touch it. You can feel it. They can get splashed in it, you know, on. And so this is what we have, you know, what we've done. And not to discount the fact that we've raised significant money for these endeavors. NRG has given us money, which I asked them to do for their consideration. Gave us money to, that's why it's called NRG Field at Community Park. They gave us an additional $40,000, $50,000. So what you do as a mayor is you go out and you seek funding, you seek information, you spend time and you learn and train. Like I'm a graduate of the Delta Leadership Institute, which is the states that border the Mississippi River, very prestigious to get a part of that. I'm a graduate of Leadership Louisiana. You know, I go to learn. And let me tell you, Nothing's wrong with leaving home, getting an education, and coming back and bringing it home to our people.
Mr. Dukes, what elements of your background make you a good candidate for mayor and why?
I believe in community involvement. I believe that no major decision should be made unless this community is involved. We shouldn't be borrowing money and making critical decisions that's going to impact our families unless we've tried to reach each and every resident it's going to impact. I believe and I understand that that being the mayor is not about bringing tourists here. It's about the people who live here every day. And I plan to make their living here every day better in this city. I'm going to ask now that you move on to the other question that you have for me.
How can you improve the city over the actions of the current administration?
Great question. I'm glad the chamber asked this. And I want to take this opportunity to explain to the group here how the city functions, how the city receives its finances. Because in order to understand how you can improve something, you need to understand the mechanism of how the finances trickle through the city. The city of New Roads enjoys a small portion from a sales tax. They get a little money from an ad valorem tax. And occasionally grants come in that are able to help with things like parks and a couple of the projects they may want to do. But the bulk of the money that comes through New Roads comes through the utility, gas, and water fund. So if any funds are being wasted or misused, they come directly from those funds. The city of New Roads survives off of transfers. Transfers from the utility, water, and gas fund. So the first thing I plan to do is put a cap on how much we can transfer from these funds. 4 years ago, we had our debt down. The city of New Roads started out with a $2.5 million bond. A bond is similar to a mortgage that you have on your house. Anyone who has a mortgage, you know someone who has a mortgage. We had been paying on that mortgage for over 10 years. We had gotten that mortgage down to $1.4 million. Now, with the debt that has been incurred by this administration, when he took office, he had a debt, I think, of a little over $3 million. When I take office, I'm going to have a debt of about $7 million. We have to cap the transfers. We can't spend and transfer and expect innocent people to pay these bills.
Question 3. What do you see as the top 3 challenges for the city of New Roads, and how did you plan to address them?
The first challenge we have is we have to put a credit card policy in place. We have, the current administration spent $155,000 on the city's credit card. In the month of, I think it's February, they spent about $11,000. In the month of May, they spent another $15,155. In the month of November, $8,000. We do not have these type of funds to throw away. I plan, as soon as I'm elected, to put a credit card policy in place because the mayor nor anyone who's on that staff should be allowed to have a free credit card to spend on this community. I have one more challenge here, if I may. When this administration took over, the next challenge we're going to have is how do we pay back this mortgage? Our city was remortgaged to the maximum potential without doing anything to come and try to get the community involved. They put us in more debt than any administration in the history of this community, without knocking on none of our doors, without passing out any pamphlets. We have to pay back for debt we shouldn't even have to be paying back for. Our bonds was set to mature 2017. Those same bonds, that same mortgage, it has to mature in 2031. We have serious issues here. Doubled the debt and doubled the payment. Payments went from 200 and something to 400 and something. We have some serious issues here.
Question 4. Name one, if any, of the major decisions made by the city council in the past 3 years on which you would have voted differently and why.
I would have never allowed this administration to double the debt on people who are already struggling to maintain their utilities. The council knows the people that live here. They go to church with them. They go to the stores with them. I can understand the mayor, he's not been here. But the people on the council have been around here. They hear the concerns. I hear my utilities are too high. I can't afford it. So if you're already in a struggling a budget or something is not good that you inherit, why would you borrow against it? Why would you double something that people are already complaining about? It's not fair to the people that live here. Now let's talk about what they did with the money that they took out on our house. Because I look at the city of New Rose as our house, our mortgage. Did they take it and create a transit system that's needed here? Did they take it and put it somewhere where we can lower our utility rates? They took it and built a road for a multi-millionaire. So now you have people who are living in Curette, on Riche Street, on Leslie Street, on Gretchen Street, paying for something for multi-millionaires. Those people and those residents should not have to use their utility bills and their funds from their utility fund to pay for these improvements. If we wanted to help this community, the first thing we should have did was try to figure out ways to lower the utility rates, not figure out ways to increase it.
Final question, Mr. Dukes. What would you do to improve cooperation between the city and its other governmental partners in the parish?
Who better to go over there and fix this mess?